Hello and welcome back everybody to Everlasting Summer. So we're on the Yulia route. I want to learn more, and therefore we're just gonna jump right in. I woke up feeling like I was suffocating and began greedily sucking in air. My breath soon went back to normal and an intolerable thirst came upon me. By the way, if you don't remember, game broke, controller doesn't work, keyboard is very loud, so I'll use the mouse. I apologize. But what was that dream all about? And who was that girl? These questions again. Maybe I've already died and gone to hell. Can a human being feel that his life is now over and that he can just move on to the next stage of existence? My head was about to explode due to such cosmic thoughts. What did I do to deserve this? I'm just an ordinary guy, not a philosopher, not a theologist, not a scientist. And I don't want to understand the substance of things, the way of the universe. I'm not asking for any more than just to live my life peacefully and then doze off into an eternal sleep when everything is over. Well, that's not a really healthy way of looking at life, to be honest. But no, I'm just trapped here. Tears of frustration welled in my eyes. And why is it always like this? I started to think that if I give it any more thought, I would either understand the substance of all things or go insane for good. Maybe both is closer to each other than you think. Ultimately, it all started with a bus. I got in, went to sleep, and there was a girl. Perhaps one of the local pioneers. Maybe even the cat-eared one. Well, why not? I can't rule a single idea out. So I'm here now. My thoughts stopped. I have no idea. Is it better in the upper left corner and the upper right corner? In the left corner I eventually will click the backwards one. So I better put it in the upper left corner. My thoughts stopped. Tumbleweed rolled back and forth in my brain, bouncing around the organ which kept my ears from falling off. Is that Russian saying? The head is for the ears not to fall off. In German it's having a hat for so that it doesn't rain into your throat. But I also like this version. Maybe it's an English one and I don't know. Tell me in the comments. And that is all. Now I'm here, in hell, heaven, purgatory, or wherever. Looks like I'm going to spend the rest of eternity in this place. For some reason I fixated on this exact theory. It is strange that I didn't care about the fact that a spiritual being doesn't have basic human senses. Sight, hearing, touch. All in all, at first glance, there was nothing different about me from my condition a week ago. Well, except for being a couple of years younger. And what is so bad about what happened? I might even consider this a second chance. After all, it's not hard to get a job. I could rent a room in a hostel. I'm 17 now. I'm still healthy. My brain is in an excellent state. My energy is at its peak. I might try to achieve something. But what had prevented me from doing so before? Was I really that old back then? No, you weren't. I jammed like an old riffle, and without outside help, I wouldn't have escaped the cycle of self-reflection. Fortunately, Lena soon appeared by the camp leader's cabin. Hey, a little self-reflection actually could be useful for you, just saying. Hi, lady I definitely don't trust after all I've seen. I raised my eyes reluctantly and stared through her for a sec. The music is loud. I have to turn down the volume on my headphones. It's my headphones. For you it's normal loud. At least I hope so. But on the headphones it was really loud right now. I raised my eyes reluctantly and stared through her for a few seconds. Hello? She stopped, looked away and blushed. Well, never mind. Maybe I have a seat? Sure. Lena perched herself on the edge of a deck chair. What are you thinking about? Trying to understand the laws of this world. And how's it going? She asked seriously. Not too good. Perhaps they're beyond human comprehension. Then maybe you shouldn't bother. But what should I do? I just have to. Why? And really, why? This seems familiar. We already had this talk at one point. Was it in the Semyon ending? Does it happen to be some vital urgency? I didn't really bother thinking about things like that in the past and lived in relative peace. No, it's normal. Everyone asks these questions. I'm having the worst kind of deja vu right now. We were here before, weren't we? I don't know, man. And what's this changed so drastically now? I won't think about it now either, and we'll be living in somewhat different conditions, but what is wrong with that? If there is no choice. I don't know. It seems that nothing is up to me. It looked like Lena wanted to say something, but she didn't. And you probably came to see Olga? Yes. I mean, no. But to be honest... What is it? Sometimes I feel that way too. What do you mean? That nothing is up to me. I looked at her attentively. She was sitting with downcast eyes, nervously toying with a handful of field flowers. They were yellow like the fervent rays of the summer sun. Well, you know, these flowers, for instance, they were growing just for the sake of it, and then I ripped them out of the ground. And that's all. She was literally about to start crying. It didn't really fit my picture of Lena. Well, it fits the picture of a depressed person, and that might be one of Lena's many problems. Well, yeah. To be honest, I really don't know what to say. Well, so are we. We are ripped out, and then... She got up abruptly and rushed into the direction of the square, without saying goodbye. Indeed, Lena, like all the other pioneers, seemed to be real. Not a figment of my imagination. Not a doll. Not an NPC. He doesn't bother to go after her though, even though he knows she is emotionally scarred, because Semyon only cares about himself. A few hours ago I was sure that I am the only one who exists here. And possibly that cat-eared girl. Still don't know how she is more... I don't fucking know. I wish I could find her. Ah, whoops, sorry, my bad. I'm in a state of something like spiritual deprivation. All my senses are working properly, but I still have a painful need to know why I am here. As if the need for identity, to find my place in this world, to determine its nature, laws and mechanisms had become vital, just like the need for food and rest. It is probably the worst punishment for a human, to have the desire to understand something, but not the ability, to wish to change something, but not have the opportunity, to strive for something, but to be unable to achieve it. Probably. Most likely, even. I never seriously thought before, why am I in the world? How much time will I spend here? What do I have to do? And what will come next? Now, after encountering this other world, I have nothing left but to think about these. I guess that if it is possible to escape from here, I will return to my quiet life where I don't have such troubles. But I won't return. It's so hard to face a task which cannot be completed. If I could choose my fate, I would never agree to this bus, this camp, these girls. I would stay there, in my apartment, in front of the monitor. You can't demand anything more from a person than he can do. It's better to spend the rest of your life working in the mine than trying to understand something that just won't fit in your head. After all, there is no other way. Of course, it is possible to make a valiant effort, to try not to think, try to accept this reality, and to start a new life. But it's not part of human nature to neglect everything that happens around you. If I was accused of a crime which I had not committed, of course I would try to resist, to prove my innocence. No one would agree to live in jail instead of at home, whatever the home is like. And now it's me who was thrown from the world I was used to into this jail. Though it is boundless, though there are no walls or bars on the windows, it is still a jail. I did not ask for this, and my only desire for now is to return back home. Between you and me, is it someone's desire to be born into this world we all are living in? I mean, your philosophy you're putting out there right now has as many holes as a Swiss cheese, for real. First of all, I don't even want to start talking about human nature, because this is a field you can write books about, and there were written books about, that are thousands of pages long. But even this little thing like, this world is a jail. How do you know it's a jail? How do you know our world is not a jail? It can be as much of a jail as the one you're in right now. I mean, I can understand that from an emotional standpoint you want to go back home. I can understand that. But don't try to make emotions to your philosophy. That is very often a very bad idea. And the only key out of here is hung just a bit higher than I can reach with a jump. And there's nothing helpful around. No chair, no stool, not even a small stone that could be put under my feet. And no one to help me. A few centimeters, just a few centimeters separating me from freedom, from realizing everything. Maybe it is impossible to return back home, but at least I'll be able to escape from this jail. That is exactly what I've wanted for the last 5 days. I guess this makes sense, considering that in the Yulia route you have to avoid all the girls. To get to the Yulia route is what I wanted to say. Night slowly descended onto the camp. Dinner went by without me, and the camp leader stopped several times by the deck chair, trying to tell me something. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention that. While skipping through the whole game, if you get no scene with no girl at the dance, at the ball, you remember that? Then he goes to the bus and finds a note that says something like, "You're here for a reason." I didn't record that, and I just saw it while skipping through it. And I wanted to get to this point, so I didn't bother playing it. But now it seems like it might have been important. So, remember, there was a note in the bus, and the bus was there for some reason. At the ball. You know? Just mentioning. Probably, I mean, the most people who are here already played this game. But I mean, at one point in the future, if someone sees this and is wondering, I just informed you. But I was already in another world, the world of my cage with the key, bound by a guardian knot to Ariadne's thread. It was not long before the light in the cabin was turned off, and crickets started their lamentable whining all around. Somewhere in the distance an owlet was hooting at a speed of 37 hoots per minute. I was sitting and rhythmically knocking, trying to accompany him. Suddenly bushes rustled around me, and a squirrel with a nut in its teeth climbed on a tree. It must be hurrying to meet its family. The summer night's charm was as rich as always, but it didn't affect me in any way at all. The mechanisms of my brain and probably my soul were in need of serious maintenance, not just a slapdash repair of the bodywork and a new paint job. I was already wondering what slapdash is. Reading, not the strongest of my abilities. I decided to take a walk. Because, thinking about it, I've been sitting in this deck chair for almost the whole day. I even took a small nap. Everyone in the camp was tired. The camp was sleeping. Yeah. So, going around the whole camp, I see. Oh, to the woods. That's a good idea. We walked between pioneers' cabins, the square with the statue of Genda, the forest path, all that was changing like pictures in a kid's book. The whole world looked like a picture too. And that is not what I was thinking just yesterday. Let's see if we meet the strange pioneer. I mean, we had a pioneer talking about us, so it's probably the strange pioneer is Semyon's doppelganger. And the reason for that was a strange girl with animal ears. A cat girl, though she could just as likely be another animal. It was like there's a defense mechanism that activated just after I appeared here, which didn't let me look for answers or get a hold of the situation. There were always more important things, such as missing the lineup, getting a comfortable seat during lunch, or sneaking away from the camp leader. Anything other than thinking about why I'm here and how I can get out. Anything. I sat on a stump and closed my eyes. A million images appeared in my brain at once, and among them was a road, a bus, and that girl. Yes, the girl with animal ears. It was her who was in the bus. Hi. Ah, no, it's you. Not the pioneer. Maybe the pioneer and her are one person? Ah, that seems unreasonable and unlikely. I quickly opened my eyes and saw her in front of me. At first it looked like a dream or a hallucination, but a sudden gust of cold wind brought me back to reality. The strange girl was sitting and sprinkling sugar on a mushroom. First of all, not a good idea. Second of all, your skirt? No, it's probably not a skirt. Whatever it is, your loincloth. I don't know. Is it part of the top? I can't see from here. Whatever it is too short. Just saying. On the other hand, it's probably very warm. I mean, they are swimming all the time and stuff, so it's probably very warm. Okay, you're excused. They grow better this way. Do they really? I never heard of that before, she said with a serious face. Who? I uttered with difficulty. The mushrooms. Who else? Mushrooms. Yes, mushrooms. Why do you need those mushrooms? To eat, of course. Why else would you need mushrooms? The girl pouted. I just didn't know how to start a conversation with her, because I was sure that the thing which looked like a strange girl with animal ears had brought me here, and making friends with a higher being wouldn't do much good. Do you have more sugar? She asked suddenly. I don't know. No. Why do you need it? What do you mean, why? I told you, for the mushrooms. They grow better that way. Despite everything, the girl looked totally normal. Of course, you don't often see a human with animal ears and a tail, and they actually looked real, but apart from that, I can bring some. I don't know why I said that. Maybe I just wanted to earn her trust. As long as mind reading wasn't one of her abilities. That's alright, no need. There is enough. Good. And? What? Why did you come? What does she mean? Come to this glade or come to this camp? Or into this life? My head was about to explode from existential thoughts. Just a little bit more, and everything would become crystal clear. No, the answers and the understanding didn't appear from thin air. The safety device just cut in. Caution. Doors are closing. No more people will fit in the train. The next stop is... The train was gone and I stayed on the platform without my luggage, wearing a light jacket in the minus 20 degrees Celsius frost. Not good. I was just having a walk. The words echoed hollowly in my head. I felt like a Viking from the Middle Ages who stands alone against 100 enemies. No doubts, no regrets, only an iron will to die hard. Everything they do here is hard. Kissing, dying. I see. The girl answered without much interest and went back to her work. It was you, back there in the bus? Me? She replied lazily, without tearing herself away from the mushrooms. Why did you bring me here? I didn't bring you. Then who? I don't know. But you were you in the bus? I was. And? What? Yelling at her was dangerous, but I couldn't help it. What? Answer me. Did you ask something? It looks like this conversation doesn't bother her at all. Who are you? She looked at me in surprise. I am me. Okay. Where are you from? I don't know. I've always been here. What do you mean, always? You must have come from somewhere, no? I don't know. I doubted for a moment that this is an omnipotent being before me. Of course, this girl is a little extraordinary, to be precise, absolutely extraordinary, and she was with me in the bus then. But maybe she has nothing to do with my arrival here. Anything is possible. What do you know? I know how to make supplies for winter. She smiled with sweetness and ease. What supplies? Well, you know, for the winter. It could get cold. I've never seen the local winters, though. How come you've never seen them, if you've always been here? I don't know. She looked at me intently. Anyway, you're boring as hell. Me? Yes, you. How do I bore you? Your stupid questions. Stupid? Well, I was dragged out of my usual world, brought here, and now my questions are stupid? Yes, she calmly replied. So, what questions would you consider not stupid? Where one can get sugar, for example. In the canteen, where else? Plenty for you to steal. You're well known for doing that, I've heard. I do not steal. The animal-eared girl was outraged. I am borrowing it. It comes back anyway. Comes back or not, I don't care. I want to understand how and why I'm here. I want to go back. I'm not interested in that. You're going on my nerves, lady. The girl stood up and shook herself. So you're not the mastermind of this whole thing. Ah. But I'm interested. Or maybe you are and you're just fucking with me. Let's see. If you're not the one to blame for everything, then you must know the answers. Someone should know them after all. She looked at me intently and laughed. You're funny. A second ago I was boring. Or Semyon was. I completely lost my temper. Stop mocking me. I'm fed up with you. Why me exactly? Oh, am I worse than anyone else? I never asked for anything as fun as all this. Leave me alone. I didn't bother anyone. I didn't hurt anyone. What did I ever do to you? Get lost. Let me live in peace. My whole body shivered. The blood pounded in my head like a cannon. Everything went dark before my eyes. Have you blown off all your steam? She asked quietly. I was about to smash her. At least I'll check if she is flesh and blood. All right, let's go. Where? You'll see. The girl gestured me to follow her and went into the depths of the forest. After some time, I started to suspect that we were walking in circles. Finally, I decided to check it out and put a candy wrapper in a noticeable spot. Indeed, we soon passed it again. Wait! I didn't dare to grab her hand, so I tried to stop her verbally. What? Where are you taking me? I said that you'll see. But we're walking in circles. So what? What do you mean, so what? You won't get anywhere by walking in circles. But you said it yourself, that you were just having a walk. The girl seemed strange, illogical, even arrogant, as if she takes pleasure in mocking me. Oh, sorry, that was probably something unplugging itself. I'm not moving an inch until you explain what is going on. Okay. She stopped and leaned back against a large tree. I was just bored. It's the same old stuff all the time. All the time. But at least recently, lots of new stuff happened. And now... Now what? Now I can talk to you. She smiled. And you couldn't do it before? Well, I certainly could. Maybe. So what happened? I don't know. And why do you think that something has happened in the first place? I've got a feeling. A feeling, eh? I gave a helpless sigh. Maybe she's just a lunatic that escaped a local asylum and not an omnipotent being. Come on, let's get serious. Okay, fine. The girl looked at me intently. Who are you? And what is happening here? I don't know, she answered with the same expression on her face. And who knows? I don't know. Alright, I'm going to sleep. Who the fuck of you motherfuckers is that? Controller, is that you? You're not even needed. If you do this all the time now, I will get angry. Controller? I have had enough of your shenanigans. You must suffer. Next time on Game Grumps. I had no strength to talk about it, to listen to her nonsense, to walk in circles in the forest. Even if she knows the answers and she can return me to the usual world and all, not today. Just enough for today. If I stay here one more second, there won't be anyone left to return. Good night, the girl said nicely. That is all? What else do you want? You're going to sleep. She is right. Okay. Do you at least have a name? Name? Yes, a name. I don't know. And who knows? I don't know. Okay. And what should I call you then? I don't know. But a person. Every single thing in the world should have a name. There's no other way. She looked at me uncomprehendingly. Alright then. You will be Yulia. Yulia? I don't know why I chose that name. Maybe it was just the first thing that came to my mind. It's a pretty common name. I mean, I don't know about Russia, but it's a pretty common name in Germany at least. Fine. She smiled merrily. And now I have to go. The girl flicked her ears and disappeared into the forest. I slowly dragged my feet back to the camp. Now it looked like I was in some sort of tragic comedy. The higher beings cannot be idiots with the developmental level of a kindergartner, can they? Though it is possible they don't perceive the world the same way we do. True. I was so exhausted, I couldn't fully comprehend everything that had happened to me recently. The answers could be right before me, I just need to stretch out my arm. It could be that saving stool, which would help me to reach the key. I have to say, they are pretty good at building the tension here. We're so close. Really, it's like really. I also have the feeling I just need to stretch out my arm. There's one thing, just like Semyon, there's one thing I don't get. It really feels like this. I hope so much this makes all sense in the end. I hope my mind is blown. Because it seems the way it is, the build-up is great so far. But I hope the payoff is great as well. Oh, I forgot to think of an example, I just remember. Last episode I said I think of an example where the payoff was bad. Well, I forgot about that. Whoops. And how could I be so calm in such a situation? Maybe I'm just tired. Dead tired. Whoops. Hey, don't jump scare me, Olga. Olga waited for me on the doorstep of her cabin. At last! And where were you wandering in the dead of night? I looked hard at the camp leader. I wonder, is she real? I don't have a single doubt about that girl, Yulia. She may not be a human, but she exists. And what about Olga, the other pioneers? You know, I saw that cat girl. Sure, of course, she chuckled. Well, you don't have to believe me if you don't want to. I don't want to, and I don't believe you. It is your choice. I said in a tired voice and pushed my way into the cabin. Semyon, tomorrow... I didn't hear the rest of her words. There was only one thing to understand, whether anything is up to me or not. Should I keep desperately reaching for that key, or is the cat girl the answer I've been looking for? Maybe the only thing left to do is to understand. No one ever said the clue will be written straightforwardly in your own language. I don't. If that ending is like that, I will explode. If it's like, we can't understand, life is full of miracles, I will explode. I swear to God, I will launch a rocket. I don't know, but I will explode. Though maybe I always knew those answers, and I just had to comprehend their meaning. What if everything is not real, and I'm just dreaming? What if I just imagined everything about finding the answers, about understanding them? Maybe there is no cage, no jail, and the key has already been hung up from the burnt-out lamp in my room, which has turned into a pioneer camp, inhabited by unreal, but very alive people, who seem so understandable and so precious. Well, no. I'm not a wizard, not an oracle, not a god. Voltaire once said, illusion is the first of all pleasures. Maybe my most successful skill was my illusions. Lines of thoughts connected one by one, ready to keep it going until morning, but the safety device worked again and unplugged the whole system, instead of reformatting my brain like last time. Okay, what happens now? So normally this day would have been the hike day, the day before this one. So this is normally day 6, but I don't think that really matters right now. I was woken up by a hellish noise in my head. It turned out to be the alarm clock. Having found its button with difficulty, I turned it off. Olga, it's 7 o'clock in the morning, why so early? I sat in the direction of the other bed, opening my eyes. But there was no one there. The camp leader must have gone somewhere already. I rose with difficulty and looked myself over in the mirror. A common pioneer, nothing more. If someone showed me photos of the local residents with me among them, I'd never recognize myself. The sun shined brightly outside, Nature seemed to laugh at me. Excuse me. I slowly walked to the washstands. Suddenly I am French, and I go to the washstands. I met only a few pioneers on my way, who were obviously in a hurry. Strange. Where are they going at such an early hour? For real, where are they going? It's not leaving day yet, is it? Did I confuse my days? Huh. The cold water refreshed me a bit, and all the memories of the last few days poured into my head. Well, I should find Yulia, and try to be very polite and proper this time. After all, if you can't even understand a fellow human being when judging him by your own worldview and ideas, then how can you talk to something completely alien? True that. Why should aliens or catgirls follow the same moral laws and draw the same logical conclusions as I do? They may perceive the universe in a completely different way, and humans are just ants to them. We don't think anything of killing a troublesome mosquito, so why should they pay any attention to me and my small problems? You have a few points. The problem is you usually have these points the day after tomorrow. Usually that's too late. Though it could be all totally the other way around, and Yulia may not be guilty in this. That is also true, but we'll see. There was a rustle in the nearby bushes, and I saw a familiar pair of ears. I see you. Yulia reluctantly left her hiding place. Come on, she snorted, pouting. Are you watching me? Yes, is that not allowed? Well, it is probably allowed. I wanted to talk to you anyway. Really? Me too. What about? I wondered. Something strange is happening here. Strange? What? I don't know. It's just, everyone is behaving differently than usual. Something has happened. First you, then all the others. What are you talking about? I don't understand. I don't know. I just feel it, and when I feel something, it always happens. Yulia looked downcast and even a little afraid. At this time, she totally doesn't look like any kind of higher being. Okay, let's investigate it together. No one should see me. Come here in an hour. Until then... The sound of heavy steps sounded from the road. Someone running. I turned around and saw Slavia approaching. Yulia disappeared into the forest, as expected. Hi? I smiled. Yeah, hi. She looked really nervous, with her cheeks blushing, eyes sparkling, and braids all messy. Semyon, it's... Come with me. You'll see for yourself. What happened? Slavia's face was such a pleading expression that I decided not to argue. She grasped my hand and dragged me to the square. The entire camp was probably there. As we turned the last corner, I looked past the crowd of pioneers who were staring in the direction of Genda, and there was... Oh my god, the worlds are melting! Wow! What a twist. What a twist indeed. In a distance where before there were fields and forests, a city slowly started to appear. At first it was faded, like it was made of smoke, but then it became more solid, as if emerging from a fog. Sky City, I thought at once. But strange or not, there was nothing special about it. Just a normal city. Plenty of those in the territory of our vast country. You could call it too normal. Almost boring. A city you would never pay attention to when passing by it in a car or flying over it in a plane. But to see such a thing here and now, in the camp, lost in the vast fields and forests of another dimension, where the only life consists of the local pioneers, squirrels, and mosquitoes. Even a cat girl is not that strange compared to this. Slavia kept squeezing my hand tightly. Pioneers whispered around us, as if afraid to speak in a loud voice, afraid that the illusion would disappear, or even the opposite, it would become more real, crushing the little Camp Soviet beneath it. The city stayed in place, like a white cliff rising above a valley. There was nothing special about it, neither gigantic skyscrapers, no significant architectural constructs, only houses of different colors and different numbers of floors, industrial buildings, and a hospital or something like that. I couldn't make out people or cars from the distance, but I was sure that the city is teeming with its own life, independent from our camp. I wonder if someone there got up on a roof and is looking at us through binoculars, trying to make out the pioneers crowding in the square. Indeed, it seemed like something flashed on one of the tallest buildings in the distance. But wait a minute. Binoculars! According to my estimations, there were about 2 or 3 kilometers to the city, so if I want to understand something right now, then I need binoculars, or a spyglass. I ran to Olga, and what he says to Olga and if he gets binoculars, and what he sees there we will see next episode. But man, I didn't expect that. The worlds are melting together. What does that mean? What is that supposed to mean? Jesus. I actually need to go to bed now. I want to know. Man, that's shitty. I think I'm gonna play a little bit more, even though it's stupid probably. So, thank you everybody for watching. Come back for the next part. I'm pumped. I'm really pumped. Let's see what happens here. And I'll see you then. Bye bye.